Welcome to ChessWhiz TV, episode 23, part B. It has been about 1 minute since we went off air from part A, so almost no time has passed. We did that to divide the recording into two sections, and also because this is like bonus episode, because it's Saturday, we often do longer episodes on Saturday. So we're going to join a Lichess.org tournament here on ChessWhiz TV. We're playing the Weekly Blitz, which is starting in 2 minutes, and I've joined the game. So this is 5-minute chess games here, and it's just a sequence of 5-minute games over and over and over and over and over and over and over for 90 minutes, which is long. So get your pillows, get ready to snooze, because it's going to be a long cast. One nice thing about, I'll be streaming this tournament on ChessWhiz TV. HTTP twitch.tv/chesswiz. What was I saying? It's going to be long. The nice thing about a long stream like this is it allows a lot of people to find ChessWhiz TV because there's a huge number of chess players out there. Let me demonstrate that. Huge number of chess players. And how many of them know about ChessWhiz TV? It's like that many. So the longer we're on air, the more people can see that link on the front page, the one right here that says ChessWhiz TV Weekly Blitz Tournament, that updated, perfect, and click that and actually find out about us. So that's one benefit. Second thing is we're on Twitch too, Twitch 1, 2, Twitch TV, which allows people to find us there. So the longer we air, the more people find out about us, which is good. We don't want to water down the content here with too much content. We want high quality content on ChessWhiz TV. But it's a trade-off, because if you only air for 1 minute, that could be the most epic 1 minute ever, but no one's going to find you. So you've got to have a balance between constantly streaming and having good content for people. Interesting thing about people that constantly stream, they typically don't have a lot of prepared content. Tournament is starting. They just go on there, they're like, well, I'm playing League of Legends and I'm streaming forever. So a lot of people find those players because they're always online. But watching them is kind of boring sometimes. I'm not saying everybody's boring, but watching them is sometimes kind of boring because they're just playing computer games. And playing computer games is nice, but watching other people who play computer games, it's like, well, that's what you guys are doing, so I won't insult it. But I hope you guys were able to reconnect after I went offline and came back. Let's see if that works for me, because I actually lost my own stream. I'm watching myself over here, and I just froze at the end of last episode. So let's see if I'm coming back. Yes. I think this is this chess game. Yeah, it is. Good. Episode 23, part B is starting. New chat room. I cleared the chat. So you guys have to spam me some more if you want me to see what you're talking about. Bishop c4 or bishop e2? Tough choice. The answer is get this headset off of my ears because it hurts. There we go. I'm happy with either one. I notice he's going to play b5 and maybe b4. So I guess here, if bishop c4, b5 hits the bishop, then immediately b4 kicks the knight, and then he's got some pressure on e4. He might actually pick it up for free. We don't want that, but that's some pretty good water. You got to make sure the mic is high enough. Something you guys don't know, but I'm about to tell you, is I watch every single minute of broadcasting. After I broadcast for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, I go back and I watch the entire recording. There's a couple reasons for that. First of all, I just love myself, so I want to see myself. And so that's a great use of time. Secondly, I want to make sure the sound quality is good, the video quality is good, and all that stuff. If it's not, I need to know. And sometimes people don't tell me in chat, they just leave the stream. Like, wow, this guy's really muffled, I can't hear him, I'm leaving. And they don't actually say, hey, ChessWhiz, we can't hear you. And so the whole cast could be crappy. I didn't use that word. The whole cast could be horrible. That's what I meant to say. And then I don't find out, and the next cast is that way, and the next cast, and the next cast. So I gotta watch it to make sure it's quality content, and it sure is. Man, I just love watching ChessWhiz TV. I wish I could just watch it without actually I like doing it too. Best TV ever. And the third reason I watch it is I'm looking for ways to improve, because I make a lot of bad jokes. I want to make sure those jokes are bad enough. If I just went, oh, that was a bad joke, that's not enough. I need to go, oh, that was so bad. That's what I'm aiming for. It's like, wow, it's not like I'm groaning. It's like my brain cells are dying. That's the kind of bad joke that I'm looking for on ChessWhiz TV. So I got to make sure those jokes are up to snuff. We're not going to use the chess openings cheating website for the tournament because that would be cheating. And you guys should not do that either. Don't cheat against humans. Cheating against computers is okay because computers cheat. That's the rule. Interesting queenside attack here. Meanwhile, I'm going to attack your kingside. He's still thinking about b5, b4, I'm sure. I'm sure he is. But I'm coming over here on your king side. So interesting lines of attack here. I can push f5 and then go bishop h6. Might lose a pawn with this line, but I don't even care about a pawn if I can checkmate him. Another interesting possibility is rook f3 and then rook g3 or h3, getting a rook into attack. Into the attack. This is called a rook lift, the maneuver where you get your rook up in front of your pawns. It's pretty rare because rooks are ungainly. When they get up there, they can't do much. They can't maneuver. But when you need a powerful attack, it can often help to bring a really, really powerful piece into play because rooks, they're powerful. So you get that rook up there, and often you have some big threats that the opponent's not ready for. So a3 hopefully is going to help with the pressure down here on e4 and on the queen side. We'll see if it actually does. We'll see. Ah, my nose. He's using the stuffed nose attack. I'll be right back, guys. There we go. There we go. Cleared my nose, now I'm ready to win. I capture. Ah, my queenside's falling apart, and just before I get my attack going. Because look at that. b2 is under attack after he takes, or if he takes with knight, c2 is under attack. They're hard to defend. I'm hoping he takes with knight, because c2 is already protected here. And if he plays e5, it creates other weaknesses in the position, so that even if he picks up c2, I've got some play. So, but let's see what he captures with. If with the queen, then I might have trouble on b2, and he took with the queen. So how do I protect b2? I don't want to play rook b1. Rook b1 is horrible. Why? Rooks don't like to defend, and that's like the ultimate defense. I can't push b3 or I lose my knight c3. I can't knight a4, he just takes that for free. Knight b3 blocks that off, but after a5, then a4 comes in and has to move again. And it's a bad sequence. Also, if knight b3, e4 is in danger. He takes with knight. I only have one defender. His queen holds the knight, and he gets a free center pawn. Free pawn's not that big a deal, but free center pawn is a big deal. So what can we do? What can we do? We must find a good move, yeah? Yeah? Oh. Knight? Fake accent will keep you entertained. Trade knights to relieve that pressure. Then bishop c1 is what I'm thinking about. But then there's so many attackers on e4, it falls. And if e5 first, problem with, every time he takes b2, it hits my knight as well. And that's problematic. Take, take, take. Take, 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 take. Maybe knight d5. Take, take with a pawn. Take. D4 gets not enough defenders after the bishop discovery comes in. What about this sequence? Trade knights. I'm running low on time, so I've got to actually do something. Trade knights, then knight d5 hitting the queen. Hitting e7 also. So he can't just take b2, or I take knight takes e7. And then pick up the bishop. He takes with knight, I recapture bishops under attack. And I have time to save b2. Very delicate indeed. He's offering a bishop trade. I don't have a lot of time anymore, so I think I'll just take that trade because I need time to protect b2. Plus, I'm running out of time on the clock. That's what I actually meant. But so what happened to the position? Well, I still only have 2 pawn islands, but my pawns are kind of scattered everywhere. I didn't lose a pawn. That's important. e7 is weak. So I could take e7, he takes c2, I take e6. F5 is a fun move. I'll go there, because if I can hold together my queen side, I'll be doing a lot better everywhere. Here, maybe? Offer a trade, only 35 seconds. I have to play very quickly. Oh, this doesn't update still. Thibaut. It still says 0 everywhere. It makes me feel okay, but I'm actually playing so slowly, I'm not doing okay. I have a false sense of confidence here. So pretty drawish position. I still like black's position, but I did keep my extra pawn, so maybe I'm doing okay. And he defends there. I need to get my pieces in the game. But I also need to watch out. Rook e1 check, rook block, and queen takes f1 checkmate was the threat there. Not a lot of fun getting that kind of threatened to you. All this time I've been wanting to play f5. Now I finally get to play it. "19 seconds. Trades. I'm going to go attack those pawns down there. He forces a trade. Yikes. 12 seconds is the problem here. I use too much time explaining my thinking, not enough time thinking. Yep, doing okay though. Pretty hard to play with no time, so that's why I'm not talking so much. 5 seconds here. Looking pretty good. 3 seconds though. Two seconds. Oh, and I lose. Point 2. Oh, it's over. I lose, and I lose anyway. King b8. He wins. Interesting. The problem there was actually that I ran out of time. So the passed pawn on f3 was pretty deadly, but I didn't have to allow it. I allowed it because I made about 30 moves in 5 seconds. And that's how I really lost. So, sorry guys, I should have been watching my time better, and then that wouldn't have happened to me. I held the position together pretty well the whole time until the end game. But I would say that his attacks on the queen side were very strong, and more strong than my king side attacks. So overall, it didn't go that well. I'll have to study that game and find out what I did wrong for my king side attack to be so slow, and his queen side attack to be so fast and make me fall apart. Maybe a3 wasn't the right move. Because b5, b4 I traded, but then I just had no defense. So maybe I needed a different counter to b4. And maybe a3 just wasn't cutting it. Interesting, c5 immediately. If I play d5, he has more attackers. If I leave it, everything holds. If I leave it, everything holds. But my position my center falls apart. I'm certainly not going to capture. That just helps him hurt me. So I'll just keep developing. Pretty good for him. My center fell apart. I must have done something wrong in this game too. Because pawn e5, pawn c4, those two pawns are not really working together that well. They're basically like, I'm over here. Well, I'm over here. Get over here. No, you get over here. That's basically what's going on. And they're not jiving. Interesting. I thought he would trade queens. I have more space, so the trade would help him. But he didn't trade. Knight b5 is tempting. Some beginner players might do this because they're looking for threats in here. But I think I haven't finished my development, so I don't want to do it. Pawn c5 is interesting, but after knight d5, I could win a pawn that way. Pawn c5, knight can't go here. Knight could go way over here. Nope, it can't. Knight here, I take, take, take. Knight c8. That would be crazy. The problem with c5 is it creates this huge hole. Huge, huge hole. I'm doing it, right? I got two attackers. And what happens? If he has to play knight c8, I've got so much space. Oh, great. He doesn't. Oh, this was a mistake. I need to hold c5 because bishop will take it otherwise. So I move back. And then he can play knight d5, which is what I did not want. d5 is a hole in my position. Neither pawn can kick it out. So I guess I'll immediately capture. So c5 was just a horrible mistake. It was only good if he had to play knight c8, and then I could play knight e4 and capitalize on d6. But I didn't get to do that, and so it was a horrible sequence actually. In effect, it was quite poor. But now I need to finish development as quickly as possible. Quickly now. Get castled, and see what's left of my center. Not much, as you can see. My center's disappearing as fast as you can say, where's your center? It's about that fast. So now he has an extra pawn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He has an extra pawn. And with queens coming off the board, there's not the kind of urgency to castle, because the reason you castle is to escape the enemy queen. So I'm okay with king f2 now that the queens are gone. It helps my development go even quicker. I got to bring a rook in, and I'm just one move away from getting my other rook in. So Ornikar says he's been busy and the standing update has been delayed. He's talking about this updating. You're forgiven, Ornikar. You do all of this for free. I'm talking to the creator of this website. Nobody pays him. There's not even a donate button on here, is there? There's not even a donate button. And if there were, he would get donations. So it's okay that you haven't updated the site super quickly. In fact, you did update the site and you put a bug in the site. You want to see what it is? Look at this gap here, 4442222, and then there's a big white space where the scroll bar goes. Now, that's actually a new feature gone wrong, because it stays there after I move my mouse off, and now it looks funny. The feature was, it used to be the scroll bar covered up these numbers. So he fixed that, and now the numbers always stay over there, which is, oh well, it's one or the other, I guess. I did notice that, Ornikar, the scroll bar ain't hiding scores, and it actually works on the tournament page here. Check this out, guys. Over here, scroll bar doesn't hide numbers, and when I mouse off, it realigns properly. That's a jQuery event, I bet. But over here, they don't pop back. So, weird. Weird, it must be 2 code bases. Unmaintainable. I'm down a pawn, that's why I don't want to make any moves. Whatever I move, my position stays worse. So I'll just never move, and then I can't lose. That's my theory. I'm going to try to create a blockade here on these dark squares. The idea is these 2 pawns are powerful if they can get side by side, because then they can work together, all attacking all the squares in front of them. b4, c4, d4, and e4 would all be under attack if you got these 2 pawns side by side. Not only that, but either one could advance to help out the defense. So if I put a whole bunch of pressure on the c pawn, it just moves up, and then the d pawn protects it. Or if I put a whole bunch of pressure on the other pawn, same thing, it can move up. And so as a result, it's very hard to take them down. Now, as long as they don't advance, I can attack the backward one. So here, this pawn on c6 can't be protected by a pawn. If I can stop it from advancing, then I've got a target. So that's the goal. That's why I play rook c5 here. The pawn can't move. Bam! And now I can start piling up on it. It has to be defended by rooks and bishops, which puts him in a passive position. So now I've got a little bit of play even though I'm down a pawn. The scary thing is this pawn is passed. It's only 4 moves away from queening. But in reality, it's not going to be easy for it to queen because my knight can blockade it on d4. So this is okay. Much, much better than if this pawn were able to advance. So now I can bring in some attackers. And the pawn is pinned. So b5, and the pawn is pinned. Cannot take, or I get c8. This is a common theme. You pile up all your rooks on that line where the weak pawn is, and then he wants to defend it, and it ends up pinned. So now this is straight out of the book, My System by Aaron Nimzowitsch, using the open file and then swinging over to find another target. And in this case, the a pawn is another target. Notice the problem is these pawn islands. He's got an island here and an island here. Separate islands means more targets. Take, he takes my knight. Take, he takes my pawn. I take his pawn, and I recover my pawn. Then he plays rook e2 check, king moves, and he takes, and there's no more free pawns for him. Or I could take with king, that would help my pawn structure. I think I'll take with pawn. It's a worse structure, but it gives my king a little bit more ability to hide after a check. I can go king g3. And now I'm out of time again. Man, I'm doing this for you guys. I'm telling you what I'm thinking, and then I run out of time. So you better appreciate this, because if you don't care what I'm thinking, just sign off, because I'm going to use all my time explaining to everyone else what I'm thinking. You don't have to be watching Chess with TV. Oh, no. No, you don't. Attack this. Now I like my position just fine. Even material. I was down a pawn. And little pass pawn over here. Let's see how far he can go. He's just 6 moves away from a queen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves away, but I got to move my rook out of the way. So this is his job now. Stop this pass pawn from queening. If he piles up on f3 with putting all his rooks on the 3rd rank, you know that's something, but it's not enough. He really needs to stop this pawn. He's wasting his time. He's not focusing on the pawn. Oops, he focused on the pawn. No. You messed up, boy. You had take pawn for free. Now you don't. I don't know what to do. Oh, good. He's letting me out. Rook b7, and he would win this pawn again. But he's letting me have a free queen. In 20 seconds. I'm going to win. I'm going to win, and I didn't deserve the win. Because he spent all this time checking me. Great. Can't promote just yet, but this is pretty good. 15 seconds. This is not a guaranteed win. In fact, maybe I'll lose. It's very, very delicate here, especially with the low time on the clock. Yep. Not talking. It's all chess all the time now. I'm going to win on time. I'm going to win on time. He's out of time. Oh, you're out of time. So that was like silence mode. Chess with TV, welcome to Chess with TV. Nobody's talking. And the clocks are getting lower and lower and lower. I'm pretty good at pre-moving. And that's why I had 8 seconds and now I have 3. He had a minute and now he has no time. That's my one ability. I get losing positions and then I move so fast that I don't lose. But that's all I can do. So that's a win. That's 2 games and we got 1 win. Very good. Thank you, Ornikar, for saying watch the clock in chat. I looked at that and then I watched the clock. That's exactly what happened. I've got the chat up right over here, guys, right here. So if you say something, it's totally on stream. And I'll read it to everyone if it's important. Now, no one says anything important, basically. So that's not going to happen. But I guess in the off chance you think of something important, what is going on? This guy is not... Okay, I'm taking all the center. If you say something important, good luck with that. So the game of chess is all about the center of the board. A knight in the center of the board attacks 8 squares. You can count them if you don't believe me. A knight in the corner of the board attacks a quarter of the squares, which sounds a little like corner of the board. It attacks 2 squares, which is lame. Knight in the corner, don't do it. And other pieces are similar. You know, the rooks don't actually need to sit in the center. They can be back here on the back because they can shoot all the way across the board. The bishops can do that too, which is why you see this over here. It's hitting all the way across. But the knights especially need to be somewhere near the center of the board. And controlling the center means you can go to either side of the board. From here you can go king side, or from here you can go queen side. If you're off on the queen side, it's kind of hard to go attack the king side. So that's why you focus on the center. What black's doing here is moving all his pawns to one square. That's not really focusing on the center. So this is kind of a critical position here. He's got to do something, and that's not something, to attack the center, and he's not done it. He's just fishing around doing nothing. And so I think that my position is much better here. My control of the center, when pawns move, I'm going to have the more active pieces. And here come pawns. I've got 3 attackers. He only has 2 defenders. So if I want, I can just take free stuff. And what do you know? I want. So here's free stuff for me. I got 1 pawn advantage. 1 pawn. That's not too bad. Why would you attack my rook? That's very rude. I'm not very interested in this file anymore because there's a bunch of my own pawns on it. I'm interested in files that have no pawns on it. This is actually an important concept. Am I losing important pieces? No, king h1 and I'm safe. When you're looking for open lines for your rook, that's files for all you technical people, look for pawns. Because if the pawns are there, they ain't going nowhere, boy. But if there are no pawns, then you're okay, because the pieces move quickly from side to side, out of the way, and all that jazz, whereas the pawns will just sit there. So make sure you're on a line with no pawns. These bishops, they are not pawns, so it's no problem. This is an open line. In 2 moves, the whole thing can be cleared out. I'm really liking bishop f4. Because his queen has to be moved again, and my pieces become more active. I also really like knight d5, because it's such a powerful knight that he'll want to trade a bishop for it, which is happening right now. Trade a bishop for that. He didn't, but he should have wanted to, because c7 is weak. He's also put his queen across from my rook, which is always dangerous. So I take that. But I could do even better by preparing this discovered attack for you. If he takes with my knight, I capture toward the center. That's a good rule of thumb. If you've got a choice with which pawn to capture, capture toward the center, because the center is more important. And he just lost his queen. Discovered attack on the queen with check. So that was the point of my move. It was not just a hoping move, which is not good form. Instead, it was also improving the position of my bishop, because right here it was blocked by 2 pawns. I was planning to bring it to a better square. It would just happen to be a free queen, but that's not the point. The point was better square for my bishop. I just found a free queen on the side of the road. I'm not going to pass that by. Completely unrelated to my strategy. But I definitely win this game. Definitely win. And I'm not even at 0 time on the clock, so fantastic for me. The way to win these tournaments is actually to move really fast, as you see, because the score is only based on how many wins you get in this much time, which is now 1 hour and 5 minutes. It's not based on how many losses you get or how clever your game of chess was. It's quite the opposite. The stupider the game of your chess was, the more awesome you are. That's why I play stupid chess. So if you don't use any time on your clock, you can win every 5 minutes. The opponent uses his 5, you use no time. Whereas if you actually play a real chess game, you win every 10 minutes. That's a serious setback when it comes to winning every game quickly. I just trade because I'm ahead of queen. When you're ahead queens, you should trade the pieces. I'm still fighting against 2 bishops, so it's still complicated. But one thing that makes this better is he's fighting against 2 bishops and a queen. That's a harder fight. The fight of hardness is upon him. What about a second queen? That's pretty appealing. Turning 1 queen into 2 queens. Throw a pawn in the mix. Bake at 350 degrees for 25 minutes. And you have a second queen. Funny thing about degrees, there's Fahrenheit and Celsius, and also Kelvin, but only smart people use Kelvin. Fahrenheit is what the dumb Americans use, so we actually say bake at 350 degrees. Now, if you guys over in Europe baked at 350 degrees, you'd burn your house down, because it's much hotter over there. Fahrenheit is just this crazy system. Water boils at 212. Everyone has to memorize that, because otherwise you're dumb. Water freezes at 32 degrees. Everyone has to memorize that. It's hard. Whereas with Celsius, it's a lot easier to remember because you're working in base. Hey, what about this way? Hey, what about a free queen? I'm going free queen, guys. For me. Then I'll take this. Is there any checkmate danger? Nope. I'll block with my bishop. Celsius is so much easier. I mean, it's just 100. Everyone can remember 100. And after 100... the water's boiling. And 0 is freezing. 0 is like the most natural number. It's not even a number. It's so beautiful. So that's a much more sensible system. I don't know why we use Fahrenheit over here. But everyone does. So if you take your temperature and you're 98.6, everyone's like, I've memorized that that number is the normal body temperature. great, but you should be like 30 whatever in Celsius. I don't know exactly. Because I'm an American. I admit it, I'm an American. So if you are a Middle Eastern guy who hates me, I'm sorry. I hear that a lot of people over there don't like Americans. And I hope that you just don't like the other Americans, because I'm not trying to start a war, I'm just playing chess. It's an over-the-board war, OTB, if you know what I mean. There's a lot of Russians that play chess too. Yes, 32 is not it, roughly. 32 is not it. Might be. Might be. So the great pun with Russians is, they are always in a hurry. Why are they always in a hurry? Because they're Russian. Ouch, my brain cells, they're dying! Oh, don't use that joke on a chess TV channel, because there are a lot of Russians watching, because Russians love chess. Russians are very, very good at chess. Why? Because you play chess in school in Russia. There's actually like, here's your math, here's your English, sorry, your Russian, here's your music, and here's your chess class. And you learn chess. It's kind of like StarCraft in South Korea. It's kind of like American football, which is where you just put on helmets and hit each other. Not soccer. It's American football. Over here in America. Americans are so stupid. Americans are so stupid. Man. So they're really good at chess over there. A lot of world champions come from Russia. World chess champions, that is. Not a lot of world football champions come from Russia, because it's so cold over in Russia that if you go outside, you're going to freeze your buns off. So you basically don't go outside unless you're drunk. Russians do drink a lot too. Enough about Russians. I don't actually know very much about Russians, and I risk offending my Russian friends if I continue any further. So no more news about Russia. Now we will hear about South Korea, a much better country. If you have heard any Korean, they end every sentence with mira. Like, as in, mira. Every sentence. So if you hear some weird Asian language and you're like, what's that language? Just listen for the mira at the end. And that means, oh, it's Korean and they're being polite. It's like saying, sir, or this is a polite message for you. And so they always say that. So that's how you can tell that it's Korean. Even if you don't speak Korean. I have heard a lot of Korean, guys, but I don't speak it. I only listen to it. Why have I heard that? I'm losing my thing over here. My chest gets worse when I talk about actual important things in life. Worse. Can I trap his queen? Hey guys, can I trap his queen? Does G6 trap his queen? He can't take that, he can't take that, he can't move there, he can't take that, he can't move there, he can't move there, he can't take that, because it's his own piece. We should change the rules. You could be like, traitor! I'm taking my own knight. I thought you were going to checkmate me. Sorry. You know, because that would save his queen. But right now, he's trapped. And he found a way out. Man. It was a good try. It was a good try. Looks like I'm getting a knight anyway. Well, that's worth something. It's worth about a knight. Goodbye, knight. Maybe I can still trap it with rook h8. He has to go here. And then, well, I should take here. That's pretty good. Attacking his rook. And then I can go to g4, which is a really nice square. This position is so good. Now, I don't like that this pawn is completely free for him. But that's life. There's more important things to do than protect that pawn. Bishop e6 would be a good defensive move. I just don't have time to play it. No! Oh, this is really, really bad, guys. I needed to play rook h8 first and protect this file. And I didn't do that, and now I'm dead. Totally dead. I'm dead. Totally dead. Rook h8 and I'd win. Not rook h8, and I'd lose. Apparently we went down the reality of not rook h8. Can I rewind to the parallel universe where I played rook h8, please? I'd like to hop universes, because this is not working out. I'm dying. Oh, so disappointing. We're going to do horribly in this tournament because of that one mistake. Should have thrown rook h8 in there. Mercurial again? I keep playing you. Aren't you named after source control? It's kind of a weird name. South Koreans are crazy about their computer games. You get more headlines out of South Korea that says man dies playing computer than any other country, than all other countries put together. They play a lot of computer games. When StarCraft came out in 1998, I believe, was just around the time when families were getting computers in their homes and PC shops were opening up. They were called PC bongs. Don't ask me why. It's B-A-N-G. It's spelled like bang, but they pronounce it bong because they don't have that weird A sound in Korean. And so what the kids would do in 1998, and they're all my age now, would be they'd go down to the PC bong, which is just a row of PCs. Whoa, just about spilled my water. Just a row of PCs. You can see me down there waving. And load up their StarCraft, play with their buddies StarCraft. What a great game. And that's how StarCraft became so popular over there. Everyone was doing it. It was like a community thing, and it's still really popular. So basically, if you have played StarCraft online, then you have played against a Korean. Now, it's true they kind of segregate them now. In StarCraft 2, they're like, okay, you're in the North American server, so you play North Americans. So you're not going to play any Koreans. Back in the old days, everyone was on the same server. Actually, you just chose US West, which was West United States, and all the Koreans played there too because they got better internet connections on US West. So you played a lot of Koreans. And the Koreans are good, man. Just like Russian, being Russian makes you good at chess, being Korean makes you amazing at computer games. When I mouse over these people and it says Russia, or it just says a whole bunch of Russian characters, then it's like, I'm going to lose. I'm playing another Russian. There's a lot of Russians on this site. You know how I can tell? Besides that everyone speaks Russian. Up here, off the screen, I can't show it to you, but it actually says how many players are on the server up here at the top middle. And if you're on the server during Russian hours, then there's like 1,000, 1,500 players. Nice number. Sometimes even more. But if you're on the server at the middle of the night in Russia, which is like normal time for everybody else because Russia's way off there in the Eastern Hemisphere, then there's nobody on. Then it's like 500 to 600 people. A third of the population is remaining after Russia goes to sleep. That's how you know that it's really Russians playing chess. Wow, these guys are slow. Slow. My chess is worse, but the commentary is great. Are you guys enjoying the random nonsense? Well, I am, so I'm going to keep it up. Keep it up. So all the best computer game players are Russian. It's true. Now, Warcraft 3 had some more international community to it, but StarCraft was 100% Korean all the way. Did you know they broadcast their games on TV? Not like ChessWhiz TV, where you have to go on your computer and type ChessWhiz to find me. Otherwise, you're never finding me. It was like you turn on the television in your house, and they're like, Mira! And they're playing StarCraft on there. On TV. So it's just like, oh, I think I'll just watch this OSL game. Flash is playing against Jaedong again, and so I'm going to watch them play while I'm eating dinner. That's the kind of culture they had. I think Jaedong still plays StarCraft 2. I don't know if Flash switched or not. Maybe you guys can tell me. But StarCraft 2 is not the biggest computer game anymore. Go to twitch.tv and you'll see that the biggest game is League of Legends. Who knows? People like saying LOL when they're playing, so they just name their game LOL, and then everyone can say LOL all the time. Interesting position we have now. It's the same number of everything as on the board, but the B2 pawn has no opponent. Its opponent has moved over to the C file. So that's better for me. Doubled pawns equals bad. It's not enough to win. This is an advantage for white, but not a winning advantage. I don't know how you could understand that. If it's a draw, it's a draw, it's a draw, right? No, he has more chances to mess up, especially because his number over here next to his name, that's a smaller number than my number. So I have some chances there too. Now I don't want to take this pawn. He recaptures with pawn, and his pawns are awesome. If I don't take it, then his pawns are lame. So we're going for lame mode for him, awesome mode for me. Double up on the only open file. He plays king g7 to protect his knight. I don't want to trade. Maybe knight a4. Hitting this pawn, but then c4. Nope, then I would trade. He'd have horrible pawns again. So he wouldn't play c4. If he took here, he could win a pawn. Yeah, I guess I shouldn't play knight a4 because this pawn falls. I don't want to take. I can't push. Don't want to take. I guess defend it, but I can't rook e3 or he'll pawn fork me with d4 and win my knight after I move my rook. And then it'll like b2 and queen on b1. Things will get worse from there. This is definitely a chin stroker. I need a beard, guys. I need a beard. Nope, I'm not doing that. I just told you I wasn't doing it. Guess I'll just defend, defend, defend. If I had a beard, I could be stroking my beard right now. Which would be beardy. but I don't have a beard. And if I tried to grow a beard, I would look so lame, because I'm actually a nerd, and nerds cannot grow beards. It's an epic failure when they try. So he kind of made a mistake here in trading, because he gave up his D pawn. Now these go from doubled pawns to double isolated pawns. Isolated means no pawns on either adjacent file, which this is now an isolated pawn. But doubled isolated is extra worse. Extra mostly bad, very bad, bad town, because they're very weak. So now I can start hitting some targets, and there's a lot of targets to hit. I attack with my rook. He has to defend with his rook. He can't defend with a pawn, because the pawns can't defend the pawns, because the pawns are under attack. And look, he can't even defend this pawn because his pawn structure is so bad. So we've got Mercurial in the chat. Mercurial. He says, I've got paired with you and I beat you, but let's make things interesting. So this is the second time we played him. No big deal. He says, I have a beard. Man, you just got to gloat on Chess with TV? Take that! I mean, I got to... That's not cool. You don't just tell a guy who can't grow a beard that you have a beard. That's rude. That is rude. This calls for some beardy man. Beardy man. Beardy man. Beardy man. Okay, I'm going to show you some beardy man. Because a beard is one thing, but beardy man is quite another. If you've heard of beardy man, you're in for a treat, because you want to watch him twice. And if you've never heard of beardy man, then stay tuned, man. Don't go anywhere, because in about 1 minute, as soon as Mercurial runs out of time here, then we're going to see beardy man. And you do not want to miss beardy man. You don't want to miss beardy man. 20 seconds. He's gonna lose on time. Oh, he gave up a pawn because he's running out of time. He is having to move fast, and so he's not replying to my moves. Actually, Ornikar, I see your message on chat, and it says you have a fantastic beard. I do, and he resigns. Okay, let's go beardy man. Beardy man, guys. Come on, the polyphonic me. Load. Can I download a video while streaming my screen? We will find out. Boom! You guys can see this video. You can hear this video. It's a TED Talk. A lot of you know what that is. Okay, listen to this.
I'd like you all to ask yourselves a question which you may never have asked yourselves before. What is possible with the human voice?
Did you hear that?
What is possible
that was his voice.
With the human voice?
I don't want to hear that I'm good at beatboxing. That's what I'm talking about. This guy can beatbox.
Ooh, baby.
Okay, that's enough of that. That is Beardy Man, guys. If you want to find that, then search for Beardy Man online, find the TED Talk. You should see the whole TED Talk, because it's a great experiment in noises. That's what I should call that. We're back to the chess now, like we should have been a long time ago. But now you know Beardy Man. It's pretty amazing. And he can do more sounds than you saw there. He can do even more sounds than you saw. He can do amazing sounds. And he has this machine that makes sounds for him and modulates his voice. And it's so cool. The only reason I'm not showing you is because this is a chess channel. So we should show chess. For all the people who are actually meaning to see chess, they can come on here and see chess, because Chess with TV is about chess. Otherwise, I would just stream Beardy Man the whole time and be just like, I'm going online, I'm going to watch Chess with TV so I can see Beardy Man. Except you can go watch Beardy Man on your own time. So why would you all come together, watch Beardy Man on Chess with TV? It doesn't make a lot of sense, does not compute, but it's a good idea. So I've advertised, free advertising for Beardy Man. I have to warn you, if you watch his live performances, he's got a foul mouth. And by that I mean he says bad words a lot. So watch out for that part. Other than that, he's cool. I don't say bad words a lot, by the way. because I don't know any bad words. Otherwise, oh, is he trapping my queen? No. No, he's pawn forking me. I take with a piece whatever I use, then bam, b4 pawn fork. But I could capture with the pawn. Then he can't pawn fork me, but then my pawns are all separated. Isolated. It's bad. So let's separate his pawns. Rook d8 is the right move. But, like I mentioned in that sequence, I get pawn fork, take the queen, maybe I should just play rook d8. Rook c8. It's not too bad. Also, I don't really want to take. He'll take with knight. I'm taking because I don't like when he takes, I can't use a piece to take or he pawn forks me, so I use a pawn, and then my pawns are horrible. Horrible. Misplaced queen. You gotta be kidding. We were just in this position. My queen was on h5. Why would you say misplaced queen? Someone in chat, Mr. Important, says misplaced queen, but he's making it up. It's not misplaced. Now my rook is facing his queen. Only 3 pieces prevent me from consuming his queen with my rook. My ears are rotting off. Sorry, guys. I am going to play this way so that my ears don't die. For those of you just finding me for the first time on twitch.tv or lichess.org or teamliquid.net, by the way, I'm over there, guys. It's a pretty big website if you like computer games. Where have you been if you're just finding me? Because I've been over here being awesome all this time and you're just not finding me. Knight c5. My queen is misplaced again. Are you not kidding? Up and over. If I knight c5, I get pawn forked again. This guy's so mean. So we've got a question from chat. This is what I like. I like questions on chat. This calls for some ear picking. Okay, this is a difficult position, so I'll tell you the question on chat after I get my queen extracted from her danger. Because there is much danger. Very wow. See what's going to happen? Bishop b5, and where does the queen go? Not here, not here, not here, not there, not here, not there, not here, not there, not here. Queen is trapped. Oh. And if knight f8, I lose my queen to bishop b5. My queen is very scared. I guess this move protects it for now. This is so scary, trying to keep my queen alive. Okay, so the question on chat is, do you always castle? Great question. Did this trap my queen? Wow, I think it did. And Vasily Prokopiev, who's obviously Russian because his name ends in V, see, Russia, is beating me. Russians do beat you. And they also can win at chess. That was a pun, but I hope you didn't get it because it was insulting to Russians. Great. Picking my other ear is not helping the situation. Do you always castle is the question. That's a great question. I give up. My queen is gone. Back to tournament. It's a good question because a lot of beginners call the rooks castles. They say, I moved my castle wrong, and they also move their castle like this. They play a4, and then they play rook a3 because they think the castle is such a strong piece. I'm bringing it out first, and then the bishop just takes it. Have you seen games like that? Every game goes like that if you're a beginner. Don't bring your rooks out first, or your castles, if you want to call them that, and you shouldn't. And this is a knight, not a horse. Man. Get annoyed. Anyway, do I always castle? The answer is yes, pretty much always. It's a good way to get your king safe. You should always castle too. There is about a few games, maybe 1 out of 15, 1 out of 20 games where you don't end up castling. And it's usually because so many trades occur in the beginning of the game that it's like, I don't need to castle to get my king safe because there's nothing left on the board to checkmate me. So that's pretty rare, but there's a few openings, a few ways the game could go where you actually just don't castle because there's no danger of checkmate. But if you're in a game where there's still queens on the board, or even still both rooks and a lot of other pieces, you should definitely castle. Not only does it get your king out of the way, but it connects your rooks. So now my rook is able to come into the game. Beginners think they need to bring their rooks up in order to fight with them, so they push the rook pawn. That's a huge, huge mistake. First of all, it's on the side of the board. You need to focus on the center. But also, the rook is not safe out there. Anytime it gets attacked, it's got to run, and you end up with a running rook constantly. This is bad for me. My center is too falling aparting. So I could help it with d5 and create holes. I'll do that. This is a horrible move because now c5 is a hole for him and e5 also. Yeah, this isn't very good. And that was just one way for him to exploit it. There were others. I'll try to capitalize on the fact that he hasn't castled yet. Did you catch that? He hasn't castled. Connects the rook. So you want the rooks to come into the open files, which is lines, which is vertical columns, from the back, not from the sides or middle, because the rook is such a powerful piece. You don't want it to be just out there where anything can take it. How do I sound? I sound pretty good. Question is, what you FIDE rate? What you FIDE rate? I'm going to pretend like I don't know that question. But the actual question is, what is your rating? FIDE rating. I'm so distracted because I'm losing this chess game. So distracted that I can't answer the question, guys. You want to know my FIDE rate? You'll have to ask me tomorrow. The truth is, I'm an American and I haven't traveled internationally, and so most tournaments here are not, and by here I mean the United States, are not FIDE rated at all. The United States has its own organization, which is so expensive, but that's a separate rant, called the USCF. It stands for the United States Chess Federation. It also stands for the United States Cycling Association. And looks like that's about it. Yeah, cycling and chess. And there's a clearinghouse, blah, blah, blah. So we've just looked that up and we learned that it's the Cycling Federation as well. So my USCF rating, sadly, is not very good. It's about 2,000. In fact, it's less than 2,000, which is embarrassingly low. But it should be a little more than 2,000. But the fact is, it's not 2,200, which is the minimum rating to have your own chess stream. So I'm actually cheating, guys. This is my chess stream, and my rating's not 2,200. Therefore, you should not be watching. If you've tuned in, you made a mistake. Leave now, or forever hold your peace. And by that, I mean your knight or bishop, because otherwise that's called a major piece. His position's better. He's winning. He has an extra pawn. And my bishop is a bad bishop. But I'm getting second place. Is this a new chess show? Asks another member. Thank you for asking these questions. It gives me something to think about while I die in this chess position. Yes, it's relatively new, but not new enough that you can ask that without appearing dumb. Because this is episode 23. And that means there have been 22 episodes already, so it's not very new. We started about a month and a half ago, mid or beginning of May, I guess. So it's been on for a while. Now it's been improving every episode, better and better and better. If you want to watch older episodes, you got to go to YouTube, and there's a link in the description on ChessWhiz TV on the Twitch TV page. And there's also a link on the team page, which I'll demonstrate to you later. But if you click Teams on lichess.org, you can find the ChessWhiz TV team. It's pretty rough. Pretty rough position. F3 holds the defense, but like most defenses, it creates a lot of weakness as well. Still going to play it. Puts more pawns on white, which is a mistake. The stream title is misplaced. How did that happen? Thank you. Expanded. There we go. Thank you for telling me that. It's a horrible mistake. Problems. So the queen is the only thing protecting f3 because my pawn is pinned. So I have to be careful there. Now knight's going to jump into e3, which is such a good square. Wow. This is great for him. Knight e3 threatens checkmate, and it hits a rook. I can't easily defend that checkmate. Knight d4 is what I want to play, because from d4 my knight can do some useful things. But then after knight e3, hitting my rook, hitting checkmate, hitting my bishop, I play rook e2 to d2 to stop all that, and then he takes on f3. Because my pawn is pinned, my queen can't help the defense. So I'm toast, actually. Yet again, I have made myself a delicious meal of toast. What is your strategy here? Ask someone in chat. My strategy is to not die. It's not a very good strategy because it's not working. I have 30 seconds on the clock, which means I have 30 seconds to make all the rest of my moves. Hey, I didn't need the 30 seconds. What do you know? I can get checkmated instead. My strategy was basically try to defend and not get checkmated. Clearly I didn't do it because I just got checkmated. But generally trade pieces that are about to kill me and get my king safer than it was, and the strategy didn't pan out. So this opening is called the Gioco Piano, which is Italian. It means the quiet game. And the nice thing about it is white gets a great center with c3 and d4. I want to talk more about that, but you'll have to tune in for another episode later because there's no time to talk about that. The position is flying past on the screen. There really isn't. The result of this position is an isolated d-pawn. I have an isolated d-pawn, which is why it's called the isolated d-pawn position. He has, on the other hand, no isolated d-pawn. Fascinating, isn't it? Rook c1 or rook e1 or bishop d3, bishop b3 are some moves I'm considering. There's even bishop b5, threatening to double his pawns. Would his knight move? His knight might move. I kind of like this, because if I could just take that, I lose my bishop for knight, which gives him a bishop against knight advantage. But I really like how his pawns would just be doubled up right there. Even worse pawns than I have, because he would have 1, 2, 3, 4 pawn islands. You gotta watch the recording and see an earlier. If you don't know what pawn islands are, I already told you, you just weren't here. So you'll have to watch the recording. The recording will be available on YouTube. So go to YouTube and find it if you care about pawn islands. Take. It was about 10 minutes in. That's going to avoid his troubles with the doubled pawns. So let's create more troubles for him. He takes with queen if I recapture, and his pawns aren't doubled. So I put my rook across from that, and now his queen's going to be scared to do that. Going through my water pretty fast. When I run out, I resign. I really like knight e4 here. Hits that queen pretty hard. That's a good move for him. Relieves some of the pressure. Focuses on d5, which is the square he should be focusing on. So I'll pull back to d3. My bishop does nothing out there. It's just hanging out in space. And now back to b1. So now that I've played rook c1, the bishop's okay here. While the rook was on a1, it was a bad spot for it. So now, isolated d-pawn, my strong squares are c5 and e5, which my knights can go to directly, as you can see. He, on the other hand, cannot take those squares very easily. He can kick my knight from either of those squares. On e5, he could play f6. He offers a trade of queens. And on c5, he could play b6. But both of those moves create weaknesses that I can start attacking. So that's why I'm okay with him having that ability. Do I want to trade? I don't want a trade, because with my isolated pawn, my attacking chances rely on the fact that I've got a queen on the board. So I won't trade. Trading makes more sense from a tactical standpoint, from a space standpoint. But considering the isolated pawn, I don't want trades. Now it's looking hard to avoid them. It's actually looking pretty bad, but I don't want them, so tough. See if I can avoid them now. This wasn't so good. Maybe I should have just traded, because knight e5 is now unpossible. Unpossible move. Now he gets even more trades and messes up my pawns even more. His position is much better, yet again, because I'm going to have doubled pawns on f3 and f2. Meanwhile, his pawns stay intact. Better for black. I assume he takes. He does not take. He keeps up the pressure. Even worse, I cannot escape the pin. Knight b5, g5 over here. Can't hit that queen very well. I could move here. Guess I'll move there. Get out of the pins, and now he's forced to capture. Tigron, you are forced to capture. He's from Poland. He's from Poland, guys. I can speak Polish. Do you want to hear? Do you want to hear me speak Polish? I can say two things in Polish. That's two things. And they're really the only two things that you need to be able to say. If you wake up one day and you've discovered that you're in Poland and you're like, what do I do? I can't speak Polish. Yes, you can. You simply have to say, nie rozumiem, which means, I don't understand, which is perfect for the situation because you have no idea how you woke up in Poland. So that's the first phrase. I got out of the pin and I'm super happy. Nie rozumiem. Nie is spelled N-I-E. Of course, they don't say the letters like that. And rozumiem, R-O something something something. And it means I don't understand. So that's very, very useful. You're in Poland, and you're like, what? How did I get here? You just say that. And if that's not working for you, I've got a second phrase. You simply say, jestem głodny, which means I'm hungry. And that is going to be really useful as well, because that's what's going to happen to you if you wake up in Poland. You're going to get hungry. And so you simply say, I don't understand, I'm hungry, I don't understand. And you can survive with those two phrases. You don't understand, and you're hungry. You'll survive. So this position just got super good for me, because I was pinned and he didn't take me. If he just took my knight, and then if I took with queen, trade queens, I would have horrible pawns, just horrible. And now, my pawns are much better. Much, much better. And he's not getting those trades. So overall, this is just a huge improvement. Knights, attacks. For some reason, he's still the attacking player, so we need to change that. A couple of people in chat can speak Polish. One person says Polish sausage. I don't think that's technically Polish. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Polish sausage has nothing to do with Poland. They just say Polish so you'll buy it. It's a funny thing about marketing. You don't have to tell the truth, you just have to sell your stuff, whatever it is. And so if it takes Polish sausage to do it, they'll tell you it's Polish sausage. And you'll believe it, and that's why you're buying it. So be careful about that. They're tricky. Marketers are tricky. Marketeers, we call them. They're like racketeers. My bishop doesn't do much biting on this pawn because it's so solidified. So I'm looking at a way to get bishop a2 in order to get my bishop out and active again. Down to 29 seconds, that's kind of scary. So we'll see what we can do about that. I'm actually going to take this bishop if I get the chance. I didn't. I gotta move really fast. The reason I would take it even though it's his bad bishop is because I have these horrible weaknesses in my light squares. My light squares are very weak, is what I just said. And so, because they're very weak, I don't want his bishop slicing in and wreaking havoc. But with only 17 seconds, there's hardly time to tell you what I'm thinking. In fact, there's hardly time to be thinking. What about take that? Ooh. Ooh, not very good. I'm dead. Lost 2 in a row. Let's review that game. There's no review the game button. Let's go to Tigron's interview, his page, and now we can see the game. So why are they showing this from the black perspective? That's kind of weird. Because I am not black. So in this position, I could trade queens, and the position would be totally even. That's what I should have done. Instead of taking a knight that's guarded by pawns with my queen. Not so recommended. Well, we're seeing a lot of losses today. But at least we're seeing chess. Luffy 56,000 from Francais, which is France. Which is a great country. Great country, France is. There's one bad thing about France. Well, there's several, but I only know of one. And it's not that they have that pokey building that pokes you if you're enormous and you sit on it. It's because the taxes in France are so high. They're really high. Thibaut can tell you all about it because he lives there. 70 seconds behind, you won't be even. Are you kidding? Someone in chat says, oh, that's not an even position because you're behind on time. Wrong. I can move instantly. Have you even watched Chess with TV before? Time is of no matter to me. I take 0 seconds per move. I can pre-move every move. There's no problem. I run my opponents out of time when they have a minute left, and I have 1 second. I can do that. So time is no problem for me. He still had a solid 26 seconds. That's what I'm talking about. That guy who's saying a solid 26, I could play 3 or 4 chess games in that much time. So that's what I'm talking about. French fries defense. That's a little off topic. Take is good, but is there something better? Knight in, queen over. I like this, actually. Even though trading my light squared bishop for his is good because it's my really bad bishop, I like even more making him do this, because now I have the 2 bishops. Trying to keep up with you guys on chat, but you're speaking nonsense, so I'm not even going to look. So I could do the same thing to him, pull that pawn in there. But let's hit him right on the head, and then take it. What are you going to do about that? The stupidest move in the world would be knight, or bishop takes knight on b1. It's like my knight hasn't even moved, and now it's trading for a bishop that's moved 3 times. That's a waste of time for me. And I might do it, but it would be stupid. I'm just warning you. If I do it, it's stupid. So you got to call me out on it if I do it. This is some good water. I need some help, guys. How many viewers do we have? My device is lying to me yet again, so I can't tell from that. I can take a free queen, though. This is why you guys tune into Chess TV. Free queens. Bishop takes queen, exclam. Exclam! Exclamation mark. Short for a brilliant move. That's what I just played. I mean, that is the world's best move right there. You would not want to watch grandmasters play chess because they don't take free queens with their bishops. There aren't any free queens when you play grandmasters. You watch Chess TV where the free queens fly. 41, they say on chat. Thank you very much. My device actually says 40, but I didn't believe it because that's such a tiny number. I thought, well, it's probably at least 70. It's lying. Throw away your knight? That's a good idea. So maybe I should believe my device. It says 40. Yeah, it really says 40. Guess I'll believe it. 40 people. That's a lot of people. Can you imagine going into a room? You go into a room, and there's 40 people, and they all look right at you. And they're waiting. Waiting, and then you walk up to the chessboard, and you have to entertain them. You have to actually talk, because if you're just playing chess, they're going to leave, because chess is such a boring game. You actually have to say interesting things like "Jestem głodny," which means I'm hungry in Polish. You have to say those things, otherwise they leave. You don't want them to leave. That's the worst thing ever on Twitch TV. If people leave, that means you lose. It's like a contest. Whoever gets the most viewers wins. That's a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure. Piano Wow says, it's okay, I'm only listening. Well, Piano Wow, I am losing my center. Let me just tell you. If you don't see the screen, Piano Wow, let me help you out. Knight takes e4, d3. You got that? Knight f6. Bishop d2. Okay, you got the position? The next move's rook e1. Bishop e7. f4. So if you're listening, you've got the whole position in your mind, so you're good. So you are good. Yes. Secret Oz admits that that would be awkward to walk into a room with 40 people looking at you. That's what I'm doing right now. And I do that 3 times a week. As you can see on the schedule up here, 3 p.m. GMT. This is 8 a.m. my time, because I'm in the Pacific time zone, which means I have to get up early for you guys. 8 a.m. is early. And it's 11 a.m. Eastern. Let me tell you a story about getting up early. So I was actually seeking out an opponent, a worthy Chess TV opponent, to play on air for you guys. So here's the way it would work. You'd come on air, and you'd come on, and you'd see, oh, there's Chess TV, I'll watch that. You click on it, and it's Chess playing against a worthy opponent. And you would stick around, you wouldn't leave. So that'd be great. So I'm seeking this guy out. So I message him on livechess.org, and I say, do you want to play a match on Chess TV? This will be great. You are the worthy opponent I have chosen. My knight is so dumb over here. Can I get it out of there? And what does he say? I don't know. I don't know, he says. What time will it be? Well, I don't know. What time zone are you in, right? Man, every time is different. This is something you learn if you go online. If you never go online, you might not actually realize that times are different in different places. But they are way different. Take. So I say to him, well, are you Eastern United States? Because I've learned that most people who are good at chess are Eastern United States if they speak English. If they don't, then they're in Russia. So I say that, and he says, yes, Eastern United States I am. I say, well, that's no problem, 11 a.m. for you. And he says, that's pretty early. And I just like, I don't even say anything. And then he says, kind of a night owl. And then, get this, he says, I don't think so. I don't want to do it. That's too early for me. 11 a.m. is too early for him to get up and play chess. So we did not have the show match, and that's why when you logged on here, you're just looking at chess tournament with no known opponent. We're just playing Beanland 278 with a super low rating. 1354, that's low to me. For you guys, it's pretty average rating. But I'm so good at chess that it's a low rating. And that's all you get to see, because this guy didn't want to get up at 11 a.m. Wow. And I'm not going to reveal who it is because it's a well-known player. And you'll never know. Only Thibaut can find out. I'm saving my knight here. Because he can actually read all the messages. If you guys want to send your Bitcoin private keys by private message on lichess.org, think again. Because Thibaut's going to go in there, read your messages, steal your Bitcoins, and you'll wish you hadn't. Because he can read all your messages. So he can go in there and be like, oh, ChessWiz, let's read his inbox. That's probably against the law in France. But who would ever know he did it? And then he can find out who wouldn't get up at 11 a.m. But we're going to assume he didn't do that because he's a gentleman and he does not read other people's mail, even if he owns the website that the mail is on. He just wouldn't do that to you. How long do you play chess, says Skyraid. I assume you mean how long have I been playing chess in my life as opposed to today, because we've been on air for over 2 hours if that's what you're asking, but it's not what you're asking. Chess is such a long game. If you play in a tournament, you get 2 hours for 40 moves. And after you make 40 moves, you get another hour. So 3 hours. But that's not all. Your opponent gets 2 hours for 40 moves. And another hour after they make 40 moves. So that's 2 hours for you, 2 hours, then one more. That's 6 hours. Your game can go 6 hours for one game. And that's actually the standard time control where I'm from. So it's like, do I want to play in chess tournaments and spend the whole day playing one game of chess? No, so that's why I'm so bad at chess. I don't want to play in tournaments. It's actually not true. I've played in a lot of tournaments, and they are as slow as I say. D4. Great kibitz, but I was too slow. I'll play it now. I'm liking my position because I've got these two passed pawns here. Oh, free things. If I take this, I lose my rook. If I take this, I don't get free things. But I could take, and then d4. I should recapture here. I'm going to leave the rooks, because I don't want to relieve the pressure. But if you mean how long in my life have I been playing chess, there's two answers. The first answer is, since I was about, oh good, a free bishop. Since I was about 6. My dad taught me to play the moves when I was about 6 or 7. And if you're wondering what he's like, you should go watch previous episode, Chess with Stevie episode 22, where he came on air. That was a crazy episode. And against my better judgment, I am putting it in the archive so you guys can see it on YouTube. But that's a tough decision because that was quite the episode. But I didn't really know how to play chess. I mean, I knew how the pieces moved, and I figured out that all you have to do is get ahead a pawn and then promote that pawn, and it's easy to win in a chess game. So that was my new strategy. Just get ahead a pawn, guys. Chess is easy. But I wasn't a serious player. Then, on my 12th birthday, I got serious because I got a cool chess book. But that story's coming another time. Not today. But anyway, 12 is when I started playing seriously, when I actually got my first rating, which was low. Which is why I'm not a grandmaster. If I had started like that when I was 2 years old, I'd obviously be a grandmaster. But you have to start young. It's better to start young. Why not knight h6? Asks someone in chat. Actually, I'm about to play knight h6. That was very clairvoyant of you. Should I take that knight first? No. Because if the knight moves, I take f7, and it's even worse for him. What else is going on? Wow, I wake up at 3 a.m. to play chess. Well, then you're an insomniac. Not everyone does that. You resign because rook g7 was checkmate. Good game. Thank you for playing badly because I was losing. Yeah, the guy wouldn't get up at 11, so... So I've been playing chess since I was 12, and like most kids in America, you get into chess, you play in middle school, you play in high school, which is basically your schooling. I don't think you call that middle and high in other countries, but you do here. And then, and then, what happens? You graduate, and then all the chess just ends because there's no more kids' tournaments where the time control is reasonable, like half an hour for the game or an hour for the game. Instead, you go straight to the 6 hours for the game. And man, like I was telling you, no one wants to snooze for that long. And so I basically dropped out of the scene when I graduated high school, which is 17 or 18. Now, during that time, I also taught chess lessons, and I still do teach, and I continue to teach through college. And if you're interested in chess lessons from me, I'm not going to admit that I would take money from you, but I would. So you'd have to pay me. Unless I'm feeling very generous. And I basically, around when I graduated from college, I stopped paying attention to chess for a while, like most Americans. But then I started Chess with TV, and things got awesome again. As they are now. As they are right now. Hey, I can make a sound with my tongue. I'm sure everyone wants to hear a sound with my tongue. I'm tuning in to Chess with TV. The guy makes sounds with his tongue. I'm all over that. Knight d4? This is weird. Why haven't you played d4? Play d4 already. Oh. It's a weird position. Yeah, now I can fork you. Are you sure? Do you want to take that move back? Knight takes c2, wins a rook. I really think you shouldn't have moved there. I thought you were going to go to d1 where you would protect the fork that I'm forking you right now! Fork! Now I'm picking a rook. Okay, what are you going to do now, huh? Huh? Bring it! My knight is trapped. I'll throw myself on my sword and get a pawn on my way out. Should I take this pawn? That would be a little greedy of me. Because I just got the exchange and a pawn. I need to get my king safe, my other pieces in. And then... Dimwit defense isn't real. I'm so sorry, Olith. I figured out who you are, Olith. You're also Tilo. And that's so confusing because neither one of those is a word, not even close. So first you joined as Tilo over on Ustream. I am going to... No, I can't. It's just too risky. And then you changed over to Olith on Twitch TV, and you just had me so confused. And then you said, I've been watching since the beginning. Confusing. But you seem to know about the secret meme, touchdown! If you want to know about that, you got to watch Crazy Openings episode 9, which is on YouTube. Good luck finding the YouTube channel. Good luck. It's very hard. But Tilo, a.k.a. Olith, knows about all that stuff. Do it. Do it. I offer you a trade of queens. I really like this for me, since I'm ahead. The one thing I don't like about my position, besides the fact that I'm choking myself on camera, is that my king is stuck between my rooks. You want your king to be to the side. To the side of both rooks, so that the rooks can work together. So that's why you castle. My king is not like that, and that's what I don't like about this position. I'm blocking you up in here. Probably h6 was better, but I didn't want to create a hole for his knight. I could have just killed that knight. I mean, captured it with my bishop. Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, are you going to take here? You should, because after g6, you'll never get another chance. You do. My pieces are becoming active. I still have the extra exchange. Now what's going on? How come he has 4 pieces and I only have 2? How come he has 2 knights and I don't have any? Something went wrong here. I don't know exactly what, but I can't even move off of that. There's that pawn would fall. I'm actually down. Oh, thank you. Olith has mentioned this to me now. How did it happen? I didn't even see it happen. And I'm the one playing this chess game. The rest of you are just watching. Boot that bishop. Then I'll bring out my rook. Relieving the pressure. At least I have 2 bishops. I've got 7 pawns. He's got 6 pawns. Okay, it's pretty good. So it's 2 pieces for a rook and pawn. But check this. I'm doubling up my rooks on the 7th, which is what you should do with your rooks. Get them to the open files, then put them on the 7th rank, then put both of them on the 7th rank, and you'll own it up. After I do that, I'm going to play b5 and trap his knight. Fortunately, he's not watching the stream, so he doesn't know that. Or if he is watching the stream, there's a delay. So by the time he hears me saying that, his knight will be toast. Oh, but he saw it. He's defending, but this is bad for him. He's playing defensive moves. At the very least, I could take the knight and pick up a free pawn with my 2 attackers. But I'm not going to do the very least. I'm going to go hunting for more. Oh, he extracts himself like a mineral extractor. Like a Vespine geyser extractor. Only one of the races builds an extractor. That's kind of dumb, you know. They named the Protoss one the Assimilator, and the Terran one is called the Refinery, and the Zerg, I don't remember what that one's called. Oh, great. I guess I'll cut off your head. The Zerg one, I don't remember what it's called, but they're all different and they do the same thing. It's pretty weird. Pretty weird. This is where we lose viewers because it's slower chess. Slower talking. Not much is happening. It's not very interesting. That's a good point, person in chat. I think it is an extractor. The Zerg one's called the extractor. That's why I've got that stuck in my head. I'll attack your rook. So they'll have different names. Doesn't make any sense. Nothing is going on. Sign off. Close your browser window. It's sunny outside. Go outside. Enjoy the sunshine. You are getting sleepy. I don't even have to tell you because you're watching chess, and chess makes you sleepy. There's no doubt. Oh, I have 34 seconds. I'm putting myself to sleep. Uh-oh. So what's the best computer game of all time? No one asked that in chat, but I will still ask. Well, the game Lemmings is an awesome computer game. Now, it's very old. Very old. And then they came out with Lemmings 2, which was awesome. And then they came out with Oh No More Lemmings, which is awesome. They did that before Lemmings 2. And then they stopped. They made Lemmings 3D, which was awesome. Then they stopped making Lemmings. That was Psygnosis that was making those games. And then everyone said, why no more Lemmings? So sad. Lemmings is a great computer game. For years, there were no more Lemmings. Oh, there was another one, Lemmings 3, The Chronicles. It wasn't as good, but it was still good. Anyway, years and years went by and there were no Lemmings. Finally, they said, okay, we'll make another Lemmings game, and they did. And it was lame. They called it Lemmings Revolution, and they made it all 3D modeling, and it was not as good. So if you're going to play Lemmings, the best one is Lemmings 2. However, it's also the hardest one to install. It had this anti-copyright protection where, oh, you're copying your 3.5-inch floppy disks onto 1.44 megabytes of another floppy disk. They didn't want you to do that, so they made it super hard to back up the game. And basically now it's impossible to play. But it was a great game. I'm making a queen. Another great computer game? Thinking about it here. Chess is a great computer game. Don't forget that. Captain Comic was a great computer game. Now, I'm definitely dating myself because some of these games are really old. Actually, they all are. But you guys remember Apogee, right? That company that doesn't really do anything anymore? It used to make awesome, awesome computer games like Commander Keen, Apogee. Crystal K's, Apogee. Secret Agent, Apogee. Wacky Wheels, which is a racing game, Apogee. And, oh, but they didn't make Captain Comic. Oh, that's disappointing. Free Piece and making up Free Pawn. Making a free pawn into a free queen. Life is free, and you're out of time. Beep! Did you hear that sound? Bump, bump. That's the sound of victory, because he just ran out of time. Back to tournament. ChessWiz has a win. Now I'm way down here, way down the list. Where's ChessWiz? Okay, I'm not that far down. Here. Tied for 10th with a whole lot of people. I've played plenty of games, but I'm playing not that many because I'm slow. That's because I'm talking to you guys. But also, I've lost a lot of games. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 losses, so that's not so good. So I've got 18 points, and the leader has 46, so we're not winning the tournament. But it's still pretty good. How did I forget? How did I forget The Incredible Machine? That is one of the best games. And the very first Incredible Machine is one of the best ones. They count with The Incredible Machine 2 and The Incredible Machine 3. Those are good games, but the very original was a nice game. They also had Sid and Al's something something, which is great too. But those are all DOS games, so it's hard to play them these days. What you need for that is DOSBox, which is a program that lets you run DOS games. Another great game from that era is Worms. And I'm talking the original Worms. Now, you've probably heard of Worms 2, which is all 3D and Windows and multiplayer. Well, the original game's what I'm talking. It was multiplayer hot seat. You had to sit down on the computer with your friend, be like, move over, I'm throwing a bomb at you. It was awesome. The original Worms, all these games, the original's better. The original is the better game. I'm playing Alekin's Defense, Attack. And I don't know how to play it. Hopefully it'll go better than last time, because I had 2 pawns here. Eventually I played d5, and then I just lost my c4 pawn. It went very poorly. So we're going to try to do better than that. The problem is I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I guess I'll put my bishops on d3 and e3. Worms, yes, Worms was a great game. Scorched Earth is much more original than Worms 1. True, I never really got into Scorched Earth, unfortunately. How do I defend this? Guys, I don't even know how to hold the center in the Alekin's Defense where you take d6. Because it's falling apart again. And if I play d5 here, it's as bad as the first. It's as bad as the first game. Cell Soap 87, I have to go. Thank you. You're welcome, Cell Soap. Thanks for stopping by. Be sure to click the heart, which means I like you. And I don't know what else to do. I actually created a Twitter account yesterday because I thought, oh, social media, that's important for ChessWiz TV. Warcraft 1, 2, and 3 were some of the best PC games. Very true. In fact, Warcraft 2 of those 3 might have been the best. Now, Warcraft 3 is a great game, and it's played in the esports scene internationally. But Warcraft 1 was kind of lame. Like, you could select 4 units at most, I think. It was pretty hard. And Warcraft 2, though, that's the sweet spot. But 3's good, too. I mean, if you like 3, I'm not going to hold it against you. This is so bad. What am I even doing? I just moved that bishop to d3, and now I'm moving it back to e2. Don't learn the Alekin's Defense white position from me. You'll be disappointed, because it's not going right. I have to take this way to hold my c4 pawn. This is really bad. So I made a Twitter account. Now there's nothing tweeted on it, but it is a Twitter account. So maybe you should follow me on Twitter. Now, it's tricky to follow me on Twitter as well. You know how on YouTube it's really hard to find the channel because when you search for ChessWiz, it gives you CheeseWiz, and you have to say, no, not CheeseWiz. Well, Twitter has a similar problem, although it's different. The problem with Twitter is somebody else took ChessWiz, and he's not a ChessWiz. He's like an imposter whiz. And he hasn't tweeted in a long time, like 2 years, and then he tweeted sometime last year. He's not tweeting enough anyway. Don't follow him. But he took the name, so I can't be ChessWiz on there. So I should message him and say, give me your Twitter account. I'm the real ChessWiz. But I don't know if he would agree. So I created a Twitter account called ChessWiz TV. So you can follow that one. You'll recognize it because there's no tweets at all, which means it'd be pointless to follow. But maybe someday there will be a tweet on there, and you'll be glad you followed. That might happen someday. A whiz poser. There was a whiz poser on Twitter. And he whizzed right past my whiz. That reminds me, I have a good friend. And this good friend had a urinary specialist. You might be wondering, how does a urinary specialist relate to the conversation? Here's how. His name was Dr. Wiswell. That is a good name for a urinary specialist. Very fitting. Perfect name, if you ask me. Dr. Wiswell. If you ain't whizzing well, see Dr. Wiswell. It's pretty good. Olith123 has found Twitter, and he's found my Twitter account. No, I just gave away a free night. You distracted me, Olith. You distracted me. Oh, he didn't take my night. Good. I'm still toast. That is the breakfast meal of the day for Chess's TV. We are getting toast over and over because there's a checkmate on h2 and a rook hanging. Maybe I can defend like this. Queen d1, and everything is not hanging yet. We'll see what happens. I'm still alive, guys. Still alive. So Olith has posted the link in the chat. So if you want to follow Chesswiz TV, you can go there. If I get enough followers, I might honor you guys with a tweet. But for now, it's completely tweetless, so you're wasting your time. But hey, everyone else says, follow my Twitter, like it's the most important thing ever. So I should probably say it too. Now here comes Queen G2 checkmate. And the only way to stop that is to allow Queen G1 checkmate, except for Queen F1, which gives up the knight checkmate. So this is pretty tough life we've got here. How do we stop Queen G2 checkmate? Knight H4, hang the knight. Knight G5, lose the knight. Bishop takes F5, check. Then I don't get checkmated this turn. I'm dying. Okay, that's check, so you have to respond. What are you gonna do? Can't do anything. I just checked you. It's a check in your face. Okay, I'm toast now. I gave up my bishop for a pawn. But that doesn't change the fact that I was toast before that move, so it's the same ingredient either way. Nothing to worry about. Okay, the next thing we need after a Twitter account is obviously a Facebook page, because everybody has Facebook too, except me. So maybe I'll make a Facebook page for Chesswiz TV. Then you can all join that, and we can have our little party together. I'm dying still. Still dying. Very, very bad. My device that was showing chat just ran out of battery, so we're going to have to go to Twitch chat over here. You're a giant, Twitch chat. Get out of the way. Okay, now Twitch chat is on the same machine that I'm streaming from, which means I can type in the chat. Okay, you can have a free queen. Hi, everyone. I've typed in the chat, everyone. So if you can see that, I am now in chat. It used to be on a separate device. I give up. Stop beating me, Owobo1. That's embarrassing. So once again, the Alekin's defense where I just took on d6, it did not work out at all. Did not work out even a little bit. So we're going to have to look that one up. We should go back to that game and see what I did wrong, because I did something seriously wrong. Seriously wrong. Do I hear a noise? Tournament finished! That is such sad news. That means Chesswiz TV is over. I'm sorry, guys. That was fun, but we're done now. So you can sign off. Here's what I'm going to say. Next episode, which is Tuesday at 3 p.m. GMT. I'm getting big and small and big and small and big and small, but it's up there, blocked by the overlay. So wait, let's congratulate the winner. Congratulations, NoviSad01 for your 50 points, and congratulations, Didi Gaga for your 50 points, because you guys tied. That's disappointing for both of you. He's Russian, probably. And he's Russian, probably. How do I read this? Oh, wait, that looks kind of like... Yeah, that looks like Russian. And that looks like Russian, but they're obviously different languages, because that's supposed to be a language. I can't speak either language. Wow. So apparently, if you speak a foreign language, and he's actually from Russia, that says Russia, then you can win tournaments, because I'm way down here in 12th place. Not bad. So this has been Chesswiz TV, guys. Thanks for tuning in. On Tuesday, we're going to do I don't know. I think we're going to play in the Daily Bullet, which takes 30 or 40 minutes, and then we'll just play some slower games after that. So it's going to be a fun mixture, some fast games, some slow games. We'll do some analysis of the slower games, because that was fun today, playing the computer and being like, what could we have done better, and analyzing the opening, that kind of stuff. That was fun. So we're going to do some of that on Tuesday, 3 p.m. GMT. Thank you for tuning in. You can follow my Twitter. I don't know why you would, because there's nothing being tweeted, but we're getting this thing going, and to be real, we need Twitter. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.